I'm so scared, y'all. This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. Will you be prepared for the next financial crisis? Our economy is already fragile because of COVID-19. So it won't take much to start an avalanche in the stock market. A run on banks, a freezing of credit cards, and then we're looking at a general collapse of our financial system. The first thing you will see is a food shortage. And that is why you need to be prepared ahead of time. Ask yourself, can you go weeks or months without being able to buy food? Not unless you stockpile food from My Patriot Supply. America's leader in survival food that stays fresh up to 25 years in proper storage. I've arranged for you to save $70 off of their popular 4-week food kit that provides 2,000 calories per day. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com and you'll get the emergency food kit before the next emergency. Your 4-week kit will arrive discreetly at your door within a few days. So visit preparewithkevinscorner.com. That is preparewithkevinscorner.com. Now, back to the video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And normally I might even give an introduction, talk about all the nonsense and everything. But at this moment, I think I'm just going to have to show you. And afterwards, you'll understand why I opened up with such fear in my heart. I'm so scared because this man is in charge of the United States at this point.
The only way to spare more pain and more loss, the only way. These millstones no longer mark our national mourning. These milestones, I should say, no longer mark our national mourning.
We deployed more vaccinators, the people to put the vaccine in your arm. We're now making it possible for retired doctors and nurses to come back and under law administer these shots.
Dum 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 dum. I am the vaccinator. I'm here to give you a vaccination. Dum 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 dum. What is a vaccinator, y'all? I mean, yes, here at CUNY College, the college that Joe Biden talked about on his campaign trail, he said we'd all be able to go to CUNY College for free. And so here I am. And I was wondering if I could sign up for that vaccinator job. I want to become a vaccinator. Yes. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I want to become a vaccinator. Not give vaccinations. I want to be a vaccinator. My only sole job is to vaccinate people. Therefore, I'm sure, based on the brochure that Joe Biden spoke of, there's a position in there called a vaccinator. He said it in his video that they have them all over the place. They're setting up vaccinators everywhere. So, darn it, I need to see the principal or something. Where's the dean? Because I want to become a vaccinator, according to Joe Biden.
We've put new vaccinators in the field. These include over 800 medical personnel from our commissioned corps at the Department of Health and Human Services, and personnel from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Defense Department, National Guard. We're literally lining up thousands of vaccinators. Vaccinators, the people to put the vaccine in your arm. We have to make sure we have more social workers and psychologists in our schools. We learned drug abuse doesn't cause mental illness. Mental stress and mental illness cause drug abuse. We've learned so much that we can change so much.
No, that causes drug abuse. Okay, that right there, listen to him, causes drug abuse. In fact, it makes me want to get so high right now. And I don't even take drugs. But after listening to him, I need something to cope. I'm telling you right now, anybody got some cough syrup, something to knock the edge off, man. Because these are trying times. Listening to this man talk about mental illness as he himself appears to be suffering from mental illness. So how can I trust anything he says? But let's keep going now. You see why I'm so scared, y'all.
Much. And that's why we ought to have to make sure that the super wealthy start paying their fair share. so we can do the things we have to do to make life better for hard-working, middle-class folk.
Look, the range of challenges Europe and the United States must take on together is broad and complex. And I'm eager to hear next.
What the? Did you just hear that? Did that man just? You know what? See, now there we go. Was that a Freudian slip? That brother slid out something talking about some Negroes, but he didn't use the roll at the end. Let's hear that again. Make sure I didn't miss, understand.
Look, the range of challenges Europe and the United States must take on together is broad and complex. And I'm eager to hear next.
So now the truth comes out, y'all. Joe Biden had that Freudian slip. Now, guys, see, that's what happens when you're starting to lose it mentally. You can't suppress all that real racism down on the inside. See, all those years of suppressing that because you've been pandering and using black folks for the votes, and it leaks out every once in a while in small doses. All right, it kind of leaked out when he's talking about Barack Obama. He's clean cut. He doesn't smell. He doesn't be wearing that dashiki and that beanie. Yeah, I mean, this guy right here has his pants all the way around his waist. So it's not even down to his ankles. And that guy's not walking around busting rhymes. He speaks with the King's English. He doesn't have dually ropes in his head. He doesn't have those nasty dreadlock things that look like some type of mop is growing out of the top of his skull. None of those things. Yeah, he doesn't even listen to hip-hop music. He's not like the rest of the brothers. So that leaked out a little bit right then. Then he ran it back with, hey, what's the law? If you don't, know you're born from now, then you ain't black. See, it leaked out then. All that pandering. See, it's kind of hard to keep it all suppressed. And you sometimes reveal your real feelings in a Freudian slip. Now, I heard when you start suffering from, certain things going on in your head, I ain't going to, diagnose the man or nothing. But people get strangely candid during that time. I mean, I've been in some elderly homes where if you get an elderly person to live like back in the 40s and the 20s, they might call you a boy. Hey, boy, come over here. Don't mean nothing about it. But their mind just done went back to a time that exposed some things that's deep down on the inside. And I got a good feeling that just happened. I mean, shoot, this happened before in dosages. Like, when you say, yeah, black people, they can't get to the internet. They can't figure out how to go get the vaccine, stuff like that, or blacks are not as diverse as Latinos. It leaks out, but that one, now I wonder where's Don Lemon? Where are all of them psychoanalyzing this man to see if what he really said is what he really meant? Let's try to get through this train wreck.
So today I'm directing COVID-19 response coordinator Jeff Zients here to work with the Department of Health and Human Services to increase our total supply of vaccine for the American people. And we believe that we'll soon be able to confirm the purchase of an additional 100 million doses for each of the two FDA-authorized vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna. That's 100 million more doses of Pfizer and 100 million more doses of Moderna. 200 million more doses than the federal government had previously secured. Not in hand yet, but ordered. We expect these additional 200 million doses to be delivered this summer. And some of it will begin to come in early summer, but by the midsummer, that this vaccine will be there. And the order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%, from 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
Now you see why I'm scared? Did y'all just hear that bad math right there? That man, his figuring don't add up. That man's talking about we should be able to vaccinate 300 Americans with 100 billion vials of vaccine. I mean, he is all over the road, y'all. All over the lane. And yet we're all pretending like the guy flying the plane is okay, and he's not. We're on Airplane right now. And I ain't talking about a real one. I'm talking about the movie one, Airplane. When they were all looking at the dudes flying like, man, this guy got to be crazy. We got Stryker right now, who ain't flew an airplane in years, up in the front trying to land us. I'm so scared. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's continue.
By end of the summer, the beginning of the fall, But we want to make, look, I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans to beat this pandemic.
Now, y'all hear that, guys? Now, you see what I'm talking about? So 300 Americans with all of that vaccination going on with those vaccinate tests. So he's going to send in the vaccinate tests. And then all of those billions and billions, but then he did say millions of vaccinations are going to take place. And I guess they're only going to be able to vaccinate, 300 people? That's a lot of vaccine for only 300 people. We're way behind production if that's the case, man. But yet, they just blew right past that. Nobody batted an eye and said, did y'all hear this man just run through all of that? And it's sad because he's reading off a teleprompter. It would be one thing if he was up there freestyling off the top of the dome. But when you can't read a teleprompter without making those type of gaffes and mistakes, we're in trouble. Let's keep going.
When are we going to get back to normal?
Well, all the experts, all the committee that I put together with the leading researchers in the world, in the United States, are on this committee of mine, headed by Dr. Fauci and others. They tell me, be careful not to predict things that you don't know for certain what's going to happen, because then you'll be held accountable. Let me tell you what I think based on all that I've learned and all that I've studied and all that I think that I know. It's one thing to have the vaccine, which we didn't have when we came into office.
Reference to the COVID vaccines, Biden said, which we didn't have when I came into office. Well, fact check, that is, of course, completely false. In fact, he received 2 vaccine shots himself while President Trump was still in the White House.
We just are getting some breaking news. We've got a live shot there of President-elect Joe Biden getting his COVID-19 vaccine.
We got to make 60 kids, or however many would depend on the size of the school bus. And I think, what I'm talking about, my guess is all summer in the CDC in its recent report. As a matter of fact, John recently wrote an article in a major magazine saying that he wants to do for the healthcare industry, sanitation workers who work in the laboratories and the bathrooms and do all the maintenance, who is in what order. I can make recommendations. When you do well, America does well. Even the wealthy do well. This is not punitive for everyone, available to everybody. And Pfizer do not either make sure that they work as well against the strain in the United States, may reduce from 95% to a lower percentage of certainty that it will keep you from getting.
It may not be as effective.
It may not be as effective
against a variant, but it still would be effective.
Still be effective.
Wow. Now, did y'all hear Anderson Cooper have to tag in? So Anderson Cooper decided, he's in trouble. This plane is about to crash. He's going to have to turn it over to his co-pilot, Anderson Pooper, who steps in and finish it off. Now, do you think Anderson Poop would have did that for Trump? If Trump was fumbling through a whole statement, he'd have been like, actually, can you clarify it? It makes no sense. It's obvious that you don't know what you're talking about and you don't listen to the professionals, and people are dying right now. While I'm speaking to you, you're a super spreader and I can feel all that corona going up my nostrils right now. I may not even make it home to my husband and my kid. This is unbelievable. CNN, if I don't make it back, tell everyone at the station it was done for the American people. This is Anderson Pooper reporting here at President Trump's town hall meeting. But let's continue listening to them pretend that there's nothing going on with this pilot that's supposed to be flying our plane.
Nurses make you want to live. I can tell you as a considerable consumer of health care. Post office box, offshore, avoid taxes. I call that unpatriotic. Last week I opened up, I met with the Black Caucus. All of the community health centers. The other thing we found is, and I'm sorry to go on, but this is really important to me. The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line.
That's funny right there. Now, I know, the guy who did the TikTok video, I'm sure he was mocking Biden. But you know what's sad about that? That is how this dude sees black people. See, that's how a lot of privileged elitists and liberals see black people. This dude doesn't even recognize what he's saying is offensive. He thinks that it's making black people feel like we're empowered and he cares about us. Right there, he's probably saying, yeah, let me take this opportunity. See, he cut out a section in that speech. You know what? This is important to me. This pander part right here is important to me. So I need to take some extra time for some pandering. See, but the problem with it is his brain is not sharp as it used to be, as we just saw the clips from the old Joe when he could pander in his right mind versus the new Joe that can't pander in his right mind. And what ends up happening is that pander comes across as offensive and degrading. And it's sad that some minorities can't see that, but the guy who mocked this little clip right here by showing, you know, what do you perceive us to be? Like monkeys? We can't figure it out, you know? Is this how you see us? Like, look at him. I mean, this dude is all over the place when it comes to those things. He's always talking about and black people aren't as diverse as other people. And, you know, the black and Latinos is always looking down and pitying the black community that they claim they want to protect, uplift. You're not doing that by dummying down stuff, by making us think that we can't perform and do things like everybody else. Do you think we are that fragile, that ignorant, that unresourceful that we can't figure out how to use the internet, man? But yet it just went right over his head. He didn't even pause. He didn't even hit the brakes, not once. He ran straight over those speed bumps doing 70. Bust all 4 tires and didn't even stop to check. Right now he's riding on rims with sparks shooting out all from underneath the car. And people's blowing the horn like, Joe, stop, pull over. You have no tires. You didn't even slow down with that pander remark that offended all these black people. And in his mind, he probably is thinking just like that. Look, I bet you those guys, those colored guys over there, they're probably giving me the thumbs up, telling me, Joe, you're right. We have no idea how to use the internet, and we're not black if we don't vote for you. Joe, you always look out for us, man, because we're not as diverse as the Latinos and things like that. And you know what, Joe? We like you because you're able to decide which one of us is like a well-grown black guy versus a hood kind of guy that you wouldn't want your kids going to school with because you wouldn't want them growing up in a racial jungle. Now, would you, Joe? See, that's what I'm talking about. No backlash, no criticism, no Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, CNN, MSNBC calling him a white nationalist for saying that. Well, I'll do it. You're a white nationalist. Now, let's continue.
Inherited a circumstance here where, and now for the first, we did a lot in the first 2 weeks. So ordinary people like me can understand. I mean that sincerely. I mean,
now y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. You hear Joe singing? We're just ordinary people. And I'm just ordinary Joe. Ordinary Joe. Well, no, you're not. This dude up here talking about some internet and all this stuff and this and that. And telling other folks who he done cut their jobs that, hey, you guys can learn the code. Go ahead, Joe. You learn the code first. Matter of fact, I wonder if you can use your cell phone at this point. But yet, he's flying the plane, yo. They got me all over the place with my emotions. 1 minute I was scared, then I got mad when he was talking about we didn't know how to use the internet. Now I'm scared again. Let's try to get to this without crashing.
My grandchildren can use that online, make me look like I'm in the 7th century. But all kidding aside, so this is a process.
Yeah, listen. Fucked up.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Now, not me. See, I'm not going to put myself in that mess, okay? And I'm sure all of you watching my video feel the same way. I didn't do that. We did the right thing. In spite of some mysterious things happening that allowed this dude to win. Even with that being said, well, we would have still won. But it's those bubbleheads that voted this dude in. I guess they didn't see any of this clip. None of this footage. None of this stuff. Now, they must not watch the news after the election. Because if they would have see, I've been seeing this. I saw this a long time ago. We saw it coming. We tried to tell folks, dude, don't get on that plane. That pilot is loony. But no, folks, I'm sure he's fine. He's the professional. No, he's not a professional. Let's go back through his record. How many planes has he flown and landed completely, safely? None? Oh, for 47 years, never landed the plane properly, huh? Never got out of flight school? No? Okay. How many crashes and simulations has he had? Oh, about 80. Okay, well, how many simulations did he have? 80? Huh. Maybe I shouldn't get on that plane. And that is why you need to find out who's flying a plane before you jump on it. And this dude right now is flying our plane and we in trouble. Y'all, I need a parachute right now, man. Because this dude is about to crash right into the ground. God bless y'all. God bless America. Now let's go into prayer and fasting and sackcloth and stuff like that. Heavenly Father, pray for America and help this pilot land this thing gently and softly. And if we get on the ground, I thank you and kiss the ground and be so thankful. Because right now it's looking pretty bad. God bless y'all. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. The link is below this video. If you click on it and put Kevin in the promo code, you'll get a 20% discount. And finally, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And if you'd like to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's links below this video to do that as well. Okay, God bless you and God bless America.